Welcome back to my channel. So today we are going to do the cool toned makeup tutorial for the holidays. So it's like the cool toned holiday festivity, winter festivities tutorial. I am going to have to do a voiceover, unfortunately, for most of it because someone was loud throughout the entire video, but that's okay, right? It's okay. So yeah, keep on watching.
So we are jumping straight in with the Too Faced Natural Eyes palette using the lightest matte shade. I believe it's in the shade Nudie, all in our crease, just blending away with just your average blending brush. I think this is the one from like the Naked Smoky palette, something along those lines. Yeah, just blending that into your crease nicely. You can use a cooler shade if you'd like, or even a darker shade. It's entirely up to you. I just chose this one because it complements my skin tone very nicely. So yeah, just blend until you really just don't need to blend anymore. Then we're going to go in with the ColourPop Super Shock eyeshadow in the shade Valley Girl. It's a white with a slight duochrome to it. It has a little bit of like a yellowy blue like shimmer, as you can see while I'm putting it on with my finger. Putting it on with your finger really is the best way to use these shadows. They don't work well with a brush. When you use your finger, you can build up the pigment better and get a much smoother and more even application. Hence why I'm doing that. It just doesn't stick well to a brush. Now we're going in with the NYX eyeshadow in the shade Mermaid. As you can see, mine is entirely shattered multiple times. I've had to repress it over and over and over again, but I love the shade so much, so I haven't thrown it away. You can use it with your finger like I'm doing to get a more lighter shade, or you can go in with a wet brush to get much more pigment. For this look, I wanted to keep it lighter to kind of maintain that cool toneness to it, because as you build in the color, it can start to look a little bit yellowy, which kind of leans toward the warm side. But with the next thing that we're going to use, well, one of the, not the exact next thing, but down the road a little bit with one of the other products that I use, it will help intensify the green in this, which will really help bring it in. Now we're using the Makeup Forever Loose Pigment. It's the second lightest shade. I can't remember the name off the top of my head, but the lightest shade is like has like a yellowy green undertone, and you could use that for this one, but I just wanted to make the inner corners pop, so I chose the second lightest shade, which is a nude color. Now we are going back into the not the Urban Decay, Lord help us, the Too Faced Natural Eyes palette with that same crease shade as we used before, and just blending it out so it's all seamless. Next, we are going to go in with the Kat Von D ink liner. This I like a little bit better for beginners than the tattoo liner because it is a felt tip, and a lot of times when people are joining the high-end world, they have been using a drugstore liner, which is almost always a felt tip. So this is a nice way to transition. It's pretty easy to use in my opinion. It's relatively black. I enjoy it for the most part. I still haven't found my holy grail liner, but over here on this eye, I always struggle because that one part that I'm just going over and over again now, it tends to not take pigment. As you can see, it's kind of like a lighter color, and no matter how much I build it, it's just not taking that pigment on the outer portion. And of course it wants to focus on my hand and on my eyes, which is perfectly okay because now you can't see the big gap that is currently on my face because it won't take the color. See that line there? It just won't take the color, and it doesn't matter what eyeshadow I use. Now we're going in with the ColourPop gel liner in the shade Prance. It's a light like periwinkle shade. Sorry if you can hear Bella in the background here. She just has to be on top of me at all times. But this is what's really going to make the eyelid pop. It's going to bring out the green, even though it is that periwinkle. And it still maintains that cool tone without being like stark white in your waterline. Just adding a little bit of color but still maintaining that like the cool, neutrally undertone. Now I'm taking the Rimmel Scandal Eyes eyeliner in the silver shade and just lightly placing that on my under eye. I kind of wish that I had gone in with more of a silver like eyeshadow over top of it, but this is okay. In person, it just added a little bit of pop to my under eye and really brought it together with that periwinkle shade. And then we're just going to go back in with that same blending brush and blend it out a little bit so there aren't any harsh lines. Now we're going to take the Tarte Tarteist mascara, and honestly, I hated it. This is the first time I'd used it, and I hated it. Like, it's just so sparse. That's what I'm actually talking about right now. It makes your eyelashes look so thin. There's no volume. It kind of gives length, but it makes your eyelashes just look like they're stuck together. And I'll give you, like, my actual opinion about it very, very shortly. But I'm just going to let you see how freaking, like, spidery they look and awful. Like, see that? They're like sticking together, but not like in a clumpy way. Like they are clumping together. It's just like really thin. And even for the bottom lashes, it's like they look alright on camera, but in person it was just super duper spidery, and I just wasn't the biggest fan. And ready? We're gonna jump into my opinion right about now.
What do you guys think? I don't really like it. I mean, the bottom lashes look okay on camera, but in person they look really, really spidery. So let's just zoom back out a little bit.
Now we're going to jump into the lips. I used a MAC lip gloss. You can use whatever pink or whatever you want on it.
Thank you guys so much for watching. That was my cool toned holiday makeup tutorial. Let me know down below if you like videos like this or if you want me to do something else. Alright? I will see you guys next time. Bye!